Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back for another episode of the Lights Camera Discussion podcast. This time it's our part 3 of Mr. Kevin Smith. You know the drill. Let's get straight into it. Collie, what's the first movie we're going to be talking about today? I say movie in quotes.
We're going to be talking about 2010's Cop Out. Detectives Jimmy and Paul, despite 9 years as partners, can still sometimes seem like opposites, especially when Paul's unpredictable antics get them suspended without pay. Already strapped for cash and trying to pay for his daughter's wedding, Jimmy decides to sell a rare baseball card that's worth tens of thousands. Unfortunately, when the collector's shop is robbed and the card vanishes with the crook, Paul and Jimmy end up going rogue, tracking down the card and the drug ring behind its theft, all in their own time and without any backup, except for each other.
Oh, that's cute, isn't it? All right, Collie, first thoughts?
First off, I love buddy cop movies. And this is not a very good one. I just think the pairing of them's not very good. The story's not great. Like, I think the story's decent if executed a little bit better. I do wonder how much of this falls to Kevin Smith and how much this falls to the studio. Like, he's not involved in the writing. It's his biggest movie yet. It's his biggest star yet in terms of his leading star. Its biggest budget. So it's out with his wheelhouse, maybe a bit out of his comfortable like zone of directing, and as I'm sure we'll get into it, there's a lot of behind the scenes clashing with Bruce Willis, which results in this movie just being a little bit of a mess.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. It's just a little bit of a mess, isn't it? It's just tiny little bit of a mess. I think you nailed it with the fact that there's obviously studio interference. He's not written it as well, which I think probably plays a big part in it. But for me, it's a travesty. There's a lot of, I say, potential there in that, like, Tracy Morgan is normally absolutely hilarious. Kevin Smith's obviously, some of the films that we spoke about have been really good. It's really bad. It's a really, really bad film from top to bottom. There was, well, we'll get onto it, but there was one almost redeeming feature, but that's it. The rest of it is just an unforgettable mess for me. I did not like it at all. Todd?
Yeah, it's a first watch for me, and it was awful. I know they made the joke about where he keeps saying it's a homage. It's a homage, and it just feels like every little thing in this film is like ripped from another buddy cop film, but not done as successfully. The chemistry's not there. I didn't even think like the performances were anything interesting, unfortunately. And it's one where I probably should have watched it through again to kind of grasp it a bit more, but I just couldn't find the want to watch it, I suppose would be the phrase.
Yeah. I mean, talking about performances and sort of background stuff, and Collie will kind of let you go into this, but obviously the main two, again, it's Bruce Willis and Tracy Morgan. So what were your thoughts on kind of them, and maybe you want to give us a bit of information about what happened in the sort of like behind the scenes?
Yeah, so Bruce Willis, I think it's quite clear that you can see that he's phoned it in. He was just like refusing to read his lines sometimes for Kevin Smith. Just his delivery and stuff and his whole demeanor just wasn't really there. It is towards like, not the tail end of his career quite yet, but it was definitely towards the time when he's just like, oh, let's start bringing out some of the diehards again and stuff like that. And it's really hard to talk about Bruce Willis because like I love the majority of his films prior to this, and obviously it's really sad what he's going through in real life now. But I don't think that excuses his behavior during this film and on this film. On one occasion, apparently Bruce Willis said to Kevin Smith, "I'm Bruce Willis. I've been Bruce Willis successfully for 25 years. How long have you been Silent Bob, motherfucker?" Like, that's as aggressive as he was getting with him. And he was refusing to say lines. And there was one of the scenes that they're in the car that he just refused to say it. And then they had to write it into the script that his character was just annoyed at Tracy Morgan's character, even though it was just him refusing to say the lines. It kind of reminds me of Wesley Snipes, and I think it played Trinity.
Yeah.
He refused to open his eyes, so they had to like CGI his eyes open and stuff like that. It's quite pathetic and it's quite sad, especially because this is Kevin Smith's like first film produced by a big studio. And yeah, that's maybe not like what he wanted to do anyway, but it just, after watching his films and discussing his films, like it does seem like a natural step. And if anything, I'm kind of grateful to this film that he then went back to his original kind of style. And I know the next couple of films are a bit weird and stuff, but like he goes back to doing what he wants to do rather than what he's being told to do. So I think this is just one of those ones. It kind of reminds me a little bit as well of like how Marvel, like Edgar Wright, for example, was pulled onto Ant-Man and then there was a bit of studio interference and he walked away. There was probably times during this that Kevin Smith felt like walking away, but he felt responsible that this much money had been pumped in and stuff like that, that he probably just felt responsible that the film needed to be completed, and he couldn't walk away because it was like so late in the process that he was struggling. So yeah, like Bruce Willis wasn't great. Tracy Morgan, like you say, really, really funny. Majority of the time, there was bits in this that I did find him quite funny as well. But yeah, there was no real chemistry between either of them, which is disappointing, because like on paper, like out with all the issues and stuff, and if like 15 years ago, because I didn't see this one on release, I seen it like a couple of years later when I knew that it was bad and had been told. But like if this was coming out in 2010, buddy cop kind of stuff, it would be around the time of like the Superbads and like Hangover, like we're talking about. So it looks kind of like a fun caper, but it just wasn't at all.
Mm-hmm. And I think the most important part of a buddy cop comedy or a buddy cop film is that there's that relationship and that charisma and chemistry between the buddies. But there was none of that, was there? And you're right. I think actors, creatives can be, strange people, but there's a level of professionalism that you'd expect from someone, especially someone as big a name as Bruce Willis, and it is disappointing that it went sort of that way. So yeah, no, I totally completely agree with what you're saying, and it must have been frustrating for Kevin Smith as well. I do kind of feel for him in that instance. Absolutely. Todd, what are your thoughts on?
Yeah, I think you've covered it perfectly. I didn't know there was all the background stuff with Bruce Willis being difficult to say the least, but obviously it shows on screen. Like if somebody's been a dick on set, they're not going to have that chemistry. People aren't going to, it's not going to be an enjoyable place to be. And I think if there's one thing that you can say about Kevin Smith's films, the ones that we've talked about so far, whether you like them or not, everybody's having a fucking good time on set, and everybody's like looking after each other and enjoying that time. Yeah, like you say, Bruce Willis is a legend. Bruce Willis is one of those people that has a filmography that you want to go back and watch. And this, it was nothing. Tracy Morgan, very funny guy. Maybe it was because I checked out of the film, but like I just didn't find any of it funny. None of his jokes, none of the sort of the lines really hit. Like it's weird. And I know Kevin Smith didn't write it, but like it's weird for a Kevin Smith film to not have a quote that I could like that was easily like accessible to have 5 or 6 just off the belt. And I think it's interesting that the film's called Cop Out. I think that's it kind of says it all.
Yeah. Anyone else that kind of popped up that you want? It's tough because like there's a couple of people in it for me certainly that should be good or should at least add something to it. Certainly like Rashida Jones, she's got that pedigree of being in like these sort of like comedy films and Parks and Rec and things as well, which she's great in. But she's kind of not got much to do here. The whole plot line of her ending up, she's not cheating because the guy next door is like gay or something, but the film did to make him think that she was cheating. Like I thought that was silly and a waste of her. Even Jason Lee as the sort of the stepfather to his ex-wife's new person, like I thought he was wasted as well in what he did. And poor Michelle Trachtenberg as well, of course. It was a shame. It was nice to see her again, but obviously, rest in peace, her. Yeah, I just felt like everything was wasted from start to end. What about Collie? Was there anyone or anything you want to talk about on that? Anyone else that you thought were?
I thought Sean William Scott was just Sean William Scott as he always is. I thought he was funny as this Dave character, but That's probably the only redeeming one, apart from obviously Rashida Jones, like you say, but it's just she's the best.
Oh, in what particular way?
Jim should have stayed with her, in my opinion.
Fair.
The Karen Filippelli.
Todd, anything else?
Yeah, Sean William Scott was the only one really that stood out for me, and like you say, he's playing his usual self, but that works. You know, and I enjoy him for what he does. He was the one who kind of felt like he was doing something. But yeah, nobody else really stood out.
He produced the one moment I chuckled at, and it's when he did the thing with his tongue when he's talking about turtling when he's in the back of the car. And it goes like I did chuckle at that. But yeah, it's not a very good film. Anything else you want to talk about in this one? Probably our shortest one yet, is it?
Mm-hmm.
No, nothing else.
I'm good. Nope.
Fine.
No,
Okay.
sorry, just I was trying
sure.
to find a bit of trivia because I didn't know it down, but I knew I'd read it. So when Todd's saying like cop out's an appropriate title, Kevin Smith found out the studio was going to lock in the title as A Couple of Cops, so it could run the trailer behind Sherlock Holmes Christmas weekend. But he told the producer, "God, that title is going to feel like such a fucking cop out." And then the producer was like, "We'll just call it that," and then they changed it to Cop Out. A Couple of Cops is a terrible title.
It's awful.
Jesus.
I mean, it says exactly what you're getting, but still.
Fantastic. Okay. Well, quotes. Collie?
It's quite a typical like buddy cop one, but I thought that the captain delivered it quite well. He's like, "There's a right way of doing police work, there's a wrong way of doing it, and then there's the way that you two idiots do it." And it's just that kind of typical like, "Give me your gun and badge" kind of moment in the film. But I just thought like that was kind of atypical of the film in terms of it was like a homage / rip off of a lot of previous buddy cop films. So that line seems like it was one that could have been delivered in stuff like Lethal Weapon and that previously.
Mm-hmm. I refused. It was just the only thing that I thought was the turtling thing. But yeah, I refused. Todd.
It was the little lad in the car, Tommy, where he said, "Fuck you too, Professor X looking motherfucker," which was probably the best thing I could pull from it.
Fair enough. Favorite scene for me, it was Sean William Scott dying from falling from the tree after his parkour. Like,
All right, yeah,
that was the best part. I could wait. Collie.
It was me when they initially had him in the car and he was like doing the knock jokes, and Tracy Morgan's like, "I'm not going to say it," and he's like, "Orange Hue." I thought that was just like the best rapport between the three of them.
Mm-hmm. And Todd?
Yeah, mine's exactly the same. In the back of the car, like him winding them up.
Fair enough. I wonder if the MVP might be unanimous as well. For me, it's Sean William Scott. Collie?
Yeah, so he was my pick, but after talking about it, I was like, I think in a way, like Kevin Smith is like my MVP for this because like he managed to get it done, and then it's kind of a learning experience for him from here that maybe this isn't the kind of film that he wants to do, because he did as much as he could with as little as he had, kind of thing. But if we're talking about like just performances and stuff, like Sean William Scott was funny, but he's very much a caricature of himself almost nowadays, and even 15 years ago for this. But I still thought it was good. Like he was good.
Yeah. Todd?
Yeah, Sean William Scott.
Good stuff. Let's rate it. Let's move on from this pile of trash. Collie?
It's a 1.5 for me. I wasn't sure because like when I'm looking at other 1.5s that I've done, that is probably on par with that. And I was looking at the 1 stars and the half stars. I was like, I don't think it's as bad as the likes of like Amelia Perez or like Argyle or fucking what's it called, Flight Risk, stuff like that. I was like, I just don't think it's as bad as that. I think it's serviceable as just a pure buddy cop film that's like never gonna be remembered for being good or anything like that. But I was like, it's nowhere near like that level of bad.
Fair. Half star for me. I thought it was that level. Like I thought it was on par with like Flight Risk for me. Todd?
I went 1 star. I just kind of hit it and was done.
Fair enough. Moving on then. On to the next film. Collie.
2011's Red State, set in Middle America, a group of teens receive an online invitation for sex, though they soon encounter Christian fundamentalists with a much more sinister agenda.
Ooh. All right. Well, first thoughts, Collie.
I thought this was really, really good. I remember, I don't think I watched it when it first came out. Again, it was maybe a couple of years after the fact. But I remember really enjoying it. I remember enjoying some of the performances. It's very like meta in terms of like it's written about kind of modern times. Like there are these fundamentalist Christian groups that like what's the Westboro Baptist Church, the ones that pick at the funerals. It's obviously a take on them. It does go a bit like mental towards the end in terms of like it's more like a Waco Siege kind of thing. Mm-hmm. But I thought it was an interesting commentary on things, and all round I thought it was a really well shot film. A lot of the performances I enjoyed, so yeah, really, really good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was really surprised by it. I thought it was a very good film. You're right, a lot of the allegories to kind of fundamentalist groups of our time. In fact, they even reference Westboro Baptist Church. John Goodman does at one point, but it also kind of takes on as well the kind of what is it they call them, like the 3-letter agencies in the US, and kind of like how they sort of deal with things. It's kind of a movie of two halves in that it's like sort of it's almost two different genres. But I thought it was actually really well done. I was really surprised by it, and some of the performances were creepy. It felt almost Green Room-esque. In a lot of the stuff as well. So I was very surprised by it. Todd?
Yeah, I watched it a while ago and really didn't enjoy it, and kind of liked it for what it was type thing, in terms of like you say, it was well shot, some of the performances were good, and enjoyed it more on a second watch, and I think I'll enjoy it more and more as I go type thing. It's an interesting film, I'll say that, and I kind of I've toyed with my rating because I can't quite figure out where to put it. It's not one I'll watch loads though. I can't see myself like sticking it on regularly. It's a very strange film, a good film, but a strange one all the same.
Mm-hmm. Okay, well, so obviously the main sort of or one of the guys that gets the most sort of screen time, I would say, is Michael Parks, is the kind of God-fearing leader of this sort of cult, Aben Cooper. This is obviously we'll speak about him as well in like the next film and stuff as well. But personally, I thought he was great. I thought he was menacing. He was believable as well, as this kind of not even like a charismatic lead, but like someone that had a way with words that you could easily see would be tricking, or not tricking, but pulling people into this this like kind of cult. What were your thoughts on his sort of performance, Collie?
Yeah, I thought he was excellent. I thought he was really powerful and charismatic. I would say is that probably a good term for it, in terms of he does like reel people in and make them believe in what he's spouting out, like his interpretation of the Bible and his interpretation of this and that. The initial scene when one of the young lads is in like the cage, and like it's cutting between him, spouting out all this stuff, and the guy it cuts back to the guy in the cage and stuff. Like it's quite terrifying. Even like watching it, it's a horror film more than anything. This, I would say. But yeah, I thought he was great. I thought he kind of embodied what you'd imagine that kind of leader to be, really, really well.
Mm-hmm. I would say as well. I'm assuming, have you guys played Far Cry 5?
Mm-hmm. No,
it felt really like So I really enjoyed that game, and it kind of felt like that as well with the sort of like Middle America cult kind of thing. So Todd, thoughts on his performance?
Yeah, I think you can see the fear that everybody has of him, and I think that's down to his performance. Like and it's weird because he goes from being happy to torture that guy up on the cross and stuff to then talking to the kids and like celebrating when the kids are getting things right, and it's just he plays that kind of when I say family man, I mean it in the most sarcastic sense of the word, but like he has that like level of wanting people to engage with him and things. And even like in the shootout, that final sort of siege, where he's still wrapping himself around people and like getting people to believe in what he's saying, even as they're getting shot at by like these multi-letter agencies. It's a fantastic performance. He does a cracking job of it.
Yep. There's obviously the three pals that kind of get caught up in this. Is it called a honey trap? I think they call it, don't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, where the like lure them in with the thing of having sex with this lady, and I really liked their performances, as you could tell that they were terrified, petrified out of their mind, especially Kyle Gallner as Jared. What did you guys think of them and what they sort of did with what they were sort of given the college winner?
I thought they were excellent. I think you said it exactly right there when you're like, they just play that terrified, like, oh my God, how have I got myself into this situation? And I can't remember what one of the three of them is, but he's like just proclaiming, but I'm not gay, but they're just obviously either like lying to the congregation that he is, or whatever it is that they're trying to show there, but he's just so desperate. And I think the performance, it so could have been like over the top and hammy, but I think they toe the line really, really well. I think it remains grounded and doesn't escalate into traditional like slasher / horror tropes of just screaming and wailing kind of thing. I think they toe the line very, very well.
Yeah, totally agree. Yeah, you're right. It could have went down that kind of slasher route, but I think it never fully kind of divulged into that, which is good. Because I think it's almost a for want of a better word, a bit of a cop out sometimes, as it can just kind of lead down that path. But I think for them to kind of try and make choices, like hiding behind his pal's already dead body, and try to escape using their smarts a little bit as well, as opposed to getting caught up in stuff. I thought was a good way, and then like obviously trying to diffuse situation with the girl, the daughter that wants out and stuff as well. It adds a bit more than just being like a shooty slashy kind of thing. Todd, what were your thoughts on them?
Yeah, I like that they sort of spent a little bit of time with them at the beginning as well, establishing their relationship and the type of kids, young lads that they are. And yeah, I like that they did the whole sort of almost the bait and switch type thing of, we think that when Kyle Gallner's in the cage and the two are in the cellar, that right, Kyle Gallner's character is obviously going to be the guy who gets away and survives or whatever, and then it's Travis who eventually becomes that almost protagonist and the survivor. I thought that was a really cool little way of doing things. We've seen it in a couple of horror films, but not a lot. But yeah, I think they were believable. Like some of the decisions they made. Travis's conversations with Cheyenne. Yeah. And I thought like, and how distrusting he is of her, and that kind of battle between them was really good as well. Yeah, like that psychological battle.
Totally. Well, in the second half kind of thing, Mr. John Goodman just shows up, and for me personally, I thought he elevated. Like as soon as he came in, it just kind of stepped up that level. I thought his performance was great as this kind of guy that's obviously he's driven by his boss in that he has to stick with what he's told to do, but he's also conflicted in what he should do. What do you think of him when he turned up, Collie?
I thought elevating the film's spot on. I think like just seeing a guy of his like grandeur and his just class as an actor, I think made you like take is it the ATF he's part of?
Yes, arms.
Yeah, he's the ATF special agent. Like I think him trying to communicate back to the local or like with the local cops back to his like superiors and that, and then they're like, nah, you're just gonna have to like kill them all, for lack of a better way, and just trying to manage. I think like he had that seniority and that kind of power with the role, but also I think morally he was very unsure as to where he wanted to take it, compared to like one of his underlings who's like absolutely fine. He's like, I need orders, blah 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 blah. So I think he was a great insight to like the outside of the camp, or outside of the estate, or whatever you want to call it, that they were on. Because when I was watching this, I was thinking they could have went about it so many ways. They could have just made straight up like, you know, government versus these Christians in the camp, or they could have made it like just a horror within the camp and don't involve the police. And I think they towed the line of having the police arrive and then having the ATF arrive. I think it kind of winds its way really, really well, and having John Goodman, like you say, appear like halfway through the film is really good. It wasn't even as if like earlier on in the film he was sitting in his office and he's like looking them up, and he's in charge of looking after like that side of things. He's like, right, I've got a big red alert on this, we need to go. It's he just gets pulled into the film halfway, and he's getting dragged along just like you are as a viewer.
Absolutely, and it's a bold choice as well, isn't it, to have to do that with someone like him.
Yeah, totally.
So yeah, totally agree. Todd, thoughts on Mr. Goodman?
Yeah, it's I think bold's the word. Like it's a great choice though, and like you say, he's that pedigree of actor that you know when he comes into a film, he's going to be brilliant. And I think he plays that morally grey, or sorry, questioning his morals really well. Whether it's like with the other agent, that conversation he has with the other agent in the barn, where it's kind of like, this is the job we're here to do, and you don't wholly believe that that's what he wants to do, but that's what he's there to do, so that's what he's going to do. I thought he was fantastic.
I really like as well, like in the middle of a firefight, he's still knowing that if he doesn't get in writing, then it could come back to bite him. So he's still, even though there's like this going on, he's like vying to get this in writing so that he has a kind of backup if anything happens and stuff to him. So it's that kind of question, the authority, or question the kind of legality, I suppose, around it as well, which was good. Was there anything else? I'm trying to think. We've kind of covered most of the bits and pieces there. Was there anyone else that stood out for yourself, Collie, at all? Or
Stephen Root was cool to see Stephen Root again as the chef. I thought he was quite good. Yeah, I've kind of found a lot of the congregation quite forgetful. Like even like the young women that he interacts with and stuff like that. Yeah, I didn't find them like forgetful in a bad way, but it was more just like, I think they were more being shown as this is the group and they're all kind of brainwashed to be
the sheep, the flock.
Sheep of the flock. Yeah, exactly. So no, nobody like stood out per se. I think just across the board, I didn't think anybody stood out as bad. If that makes sense, in terms of nobody made me go, oh, that wasn't great, or that was a bit hammy, or that. I think everyone just did exactly what was asked.
Todd, anyone?
It was just like you say, nice to see Stephen Root. It was cool to see Matt Jones, Zeke or Badger, as we probably know him better, but like just playing it straight, which was cool, or relatively straight at least. He's still that sort of bumbling sidekick, but like, yeah, but he's he does a cracking job of that, which is it was nice to see him. I did think that it's Cheyenne. I never know how to pronounce her name, but I thought she was really good, especially in that, like I say, in that battle with Travis. I thought that was a really tense scene, and it was down to those two performances.
Before we kind of go into like quotes and stuff, I wanted to kind of touch on the sort of ending. What were your guys' thoughts on the way that it sort of ended? Todd, I can see you're shaking your head, so let's go to you first.
Pissed me off, like the fact that it felt like, how do we end this? And I would have preferred it if they where were the horns? Where did that come from?
2 seconds.
Oh no, it's like not a clue where they came from. Oh my god, do you know what I mean? Like I'd have preferred it if they'd have left it completely ambiguous, and then we could question for ourselves: is it like an air raid siren that we have? Do you know what I mean? Is it is it God? What's fucking happened? And instead, they went on this long, convoluted fucking shit. Do you know what I mean? Like, it was, that was awful. Like, that really, really, and I think that's part of why, like, the ending's such a big part of the film, that, like, because it's the bit that you're left with. And that's why I think it leaves such a sour taste in my mouth, because I was just like, this is stupid. So what did you think? What?
Yeah, no, I agree with yourself, Todd. I think it was it was a strange decision to end on that note, with basically exposition, really, wasn't it?
Mhm.
It was the fact that ending was told by John Goodman to the, yeah, it didn't sit right with me. Like, it didn't feel like a satisfying conclusion. Again, it's a choice. It's an absolute choice. He could have easily went down and showed us the whole thing. But as we know, unlike yourself, Todd, they told us, didn't show us. But yeah, it didn't quite sit right with me in a film that we were shown how dangerous these people are, or how dangerous the agencies and stuff are, and things, for us to then be told it did just feel a bit shallow for me. So yeah, that did kind of annoy me, to be perfectly honest. Colin, what were your thoughts on the ending?
Yeah, I didn't mind it per se. I don't think it annoyed me or anything like that, but it was just one of those things. Have you discussed what the alternate ending
No, I didn't know what it was, to be
No.
honest.
Oh, right, okay. So, do you know about it, Todd? At all?
No.
So, well, wait to hear what the ending could have been.
Oh, here we go.
In one of his Q&As, Kevin Smith revealed that the original ending to the film featured the actual apocalypse. After Cooper taunts Keenan, he and other members of the church, along with every agent except Keenan, dies with their hearts and heads exploding. After hiding during the violence, Keenan uncovers his eyes to see the last church member being killed by a gigantic angel, who sees Keenan and simply puts its fingers to its lips and goes, "Shh," before ascending to heaven as the four horsemen of the apocalypse descend onto Earth. So there you go.
You know what?
Here's what you could have had.
I kind of rate that.
It was budgeting. I think it was purely budgeting reasons that they had to change that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that makes sense. But like, then at least it's like, it feels like an ending, and
Yeah.
and that'll have really pissed some people off, because that's ridiculous. But then at the same time, it's like, it's an ending where you go, oh, actually, the fucking bad guys, the assholes, had a point. Like, they were working towards something. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's, I don't know. I think it'd have been more interesting than John Goodman sat across the table going, a bunch of stoners had a fucking air horn and started going, wah, wah, fuck off. Like, yeah, give me angels of death and heads and hearts exploding. Just while, just one note I made that, like, we haven't touched on is Patrick Fischler, who is in every film. So he's one of the agents at the table at the end. He's a dickhead in everything he's in, and I'd really like to see him just play a nice guy one day and just be given that time to just to be happy in a film.
Is that the guy that's in like Twin Peaks and stuff?
Yeah, and he's in a couple of Nolan films, I think. Yeah, and he's just a dickhead in everything. He's just snide about everybody. Yeah.
Oh well, excellent stuff. Okay, doke. Let's go into our quotes. So, favorite quote, Todd?
Mine is a John Goodman quote, and it was, "You said this was going to be a simple in and out, sir. Simple just shit itself." Like, that's a tagline for a film. It works so well, and it's delivered so well from Goodman.
100%. That was mine as well. Collie?
Mine was a Goodman quote as well. It's people just do the strangest things when they believe they're entitled, but they do even stranger things when they just plain believe. And I thought that was quite a good comment on what the film's all about and what these kind of fundamentalist groups are all about. Like, if you just get a group of people that will just plainly believe exactly what you're asking them to do, then they'll do strange things.
Absolutely. Favorite scene for me was the monologue in the church. I thought Aben Cooper was great with that. I thought it just showed off his kind of his leadership sort of stuff. I really enjoyed that. Collie?
Yeah, I was the exact same. The sermon scene for me, which I think, yeah, last night when I was trying to bottom out what my scenes were for some of the films, that full scene's on YouTube. If anyone
cool.
wanted to watch that, I think it's like 4.5 minutes or whatever.
Brilliant. Todd?
Mine is the siege at the end. I know it's like the majority of the end of the film, but in particular where it's what's his name, Michael Park, and they're up in the bedroom talking about like what they're going to do next. I thought that was really good. I'd like to point out in my initial review for the for when I watched it, and I was like, I've had to sit through a 10-minute monologue, and it's pissed me off. Like, it set me up wrong for the film. I must have been in a bad mood when I watched it, because that monologue is really good, and it works really well with everything that's been going on. So yeah, that was.
So the monologue pissed you off, and then your favourite scene was the whole second half of the film.
Essentially,
I was going to say like the last third of the film. My favorite scene from the film was the film.
The film, yeah.
Okay, and MVP, well, for me, John Goodman, as I said, kind of elevated the scenes and stuff. Yeah, I thought he was great. Collie?
Michael Parks for me, and I think it sets him up really well to be a main character for the following film that we're going to discuss.
Absolutely. And Todd?
John Goodman. Yeah, John Goodman for me.
Good stuff. Okay, well, ratings. First of all, for me, I gave it 3.5. Probably the ending maybe just brought it down that half a star. Collie?
4 for me.
Good stuff. And Todd?
3. I've been toying between them, but I've landed at a 3.
Is that on Letterboxd? You put a 3, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Changed it.
Right, okay, let's move on to the next film. And I think it's a film that one of us have said we're really excited to talk about. So, Collie, what we're going to be talking about?
2014's Tusk. When his best friend and podcast co-host goes missing in the backwoods of Canada, a young guy joins forces with his friend's girlfriend to search for him.
Oh, interesting. Well, it's about podcasts, and we're on a podcast. How meta does it get?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. First thoughts then, Collie.
It's mental, but in the best possible way. I really enjoy it. It's ridiculous. Some of the performances are insane, but the body horror element of it, Michael Parks, just a lot. Like the whole main drive of the story is really, really funny, I think, and just you just kind of need to switch your brain off when you watch films like this, I feel. But yeah, it's a good laugh.
Mm-hmm. This is the one that I was like, you always hear about Tusk and folk are like, oh, it's terrible, or folk are like, well, mainly it's people saying it's terrible. I loved it. I mean, there's moments in it that do drop it down for me, but in terms of as a whole, I think it's a fantastic like swing, and it's bold, it's creative, and this is like the sort of stuff that I love seeing him do. Yeah, I thought it was fantastic, and there's some really good performances, really interesting moments as well, and yeah, it is something else. There's not a film like it, and I'm glad, because it is mad. Todd?
Yeah, so on first watch, I really, really didn't enjoy it. Didn't get it at all. And I watched it pretty close to release. On a rewatch, I don't know if my tastes have changed ever so slightly, or whether I was paying more attention, but I fucking love this film. Like, I think this will only get better on rewatches, because it is funny in how ridiculous it is. Like, as in, you're laughing at something that isn't fucking funny at all. I think they've got the tone right, and like the performances are spot on, and the ending, that sort of how bleak it becomes, is just fantastic.
It's something else, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
All right, well, I mean, let's go into characters. Obviously, Justin Long is the sort of the main person that we kind of follow as the podcaster, Wallace. What were your thoughts on him, Collie?
I thought he was brilliant. I thought he kind of played that arrogant, like, just thinks he's the best thing ever, kind of podcast host, kind of similar to this one. So there's a lot of real life bled into it. But I thought like is descending into confusion and is upset and stuff as he discovers what's actually going to be happening to him by Howard. Was really surprisingly like good. Like I thought it was actually some really good acting in what he's like, similar to what I've said about the last few. Like easily could have just hammed it up and just went over the top, like somebody else that we're maybe going to discuss in this film. But yeah, no, I thought he was really good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I totally agree. I think
I was surprised by how good he was.
Mm-hmm. You're absolutely right, because there's like the smarmy kind of arrogant parts of it, which you feel like is probably up Justin Long's avenue anyway. But it's when it gets into like the more, well, when he's a walrus, when he can't speak, and he's doing a lot of acting with like his eyes and even his mouth as well, which you can just see through the sort of suit, is phenomenal. Is absolutely like top tier stuff. And yeah, what I would say as well, even though he's kind of arrogant and a bit of a dick and stuff as well, he's just proper charismatic. Like he's one of those guys that like you just don't mind watching. But yeah, I thought his performance was brilliant in this film. Todd, thoughts on him?
Yeah, I think the writing does him a favour, and especially because this was sort of pre-era of, like Present Company obviously excluded, those douchebag podcasters who were like so like that sort of like so full of themselves. Yeah,
Don't know what you're talking
about. It was pre that era, and he's like Kevin Smith's got it spot on. These guys who think that like what they say is the most important thing, and they're so full of themselves. And I think it's great character development. Obviously, it's awful that a man has to be turned into a walrus in order to realise how much of a piece of shit you might be. But yeah, I thought he was brilliant. Yeah. Well, maybe it needs that more often, But yeah, I think as well, like how unassuming he is when he goes into that house and he's like fucking around with all, like, he's touching everything on like the mantelpiece and like, and that was really well done as well. So yeah, I thought he was excellent, and as I said, it's a good career for Justin Long to be working with Kevin Smith.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Well, Michael Parks obviously is the kind of the foil, or the man that allows him to change into this walrus. We also saw him in the last one we spoke about as being the leader of this cult in Red State. What do you think of him in Tusk as this kind of like enigmatic kind of weary traveler that's got thoughts for what he wants to do, and the nostalgia for stories that he has lived through. Colin, what were your thoughts on Michael Parks?
I thought he was excellent, and he really quite reminded me at times of Alan Rickman in Dogma. Just the delivery of some of his lines, like Todd said about Rickman, like the thespian nature and some of the monologues that he was delivering, and even like the stupid stuff, like he's like, well, what's he? He's like, Mr. Tusk, why do you cry? And all that stuff. Like, it's so stupid, like it's so ridiculous, but he's delivering it like so straight and so like full justification that he's obviously like a mental case, but he's like fully justifying in what he's doing. He's like, this seems logical to me that I need to recreate my walrus friend and fight him. Like that, just like you fully, he's like completely. He's just so believable. I think it's so believable, and I think that's through his performance. So kudos to him.
Absolutely, he gives it as all, doesn't he?
Oh, I'm 100%.
Yeah, even the physicality of him as well. I think is a really underrated part of it, especially when he's in the wheelchair at the start, and then sort of builds up to being like, revealing that he's not stuck in this wheelchair. What were your thoughts on him, Todd, on Michael Parks?
Yeah, I loved these stories. Like, I loved listening to him, and I know he's a bastard, but like, he's an interesting bastard all the same.
Is he though?
Well, but I tell you what I did love was when Guy Lapointe meets him, and he plays. Is that what he's called, Guy Lapointe?
Yeah. I'm just remembering Guy Lapointe.
Awful.
Guy Lapointe.
But in that Guy Lapointe, yeah, in that scene, Michael Parks plays like a dumb version of Howard. Like he's playing like as if he's thick, and he does that so well, but there's still that menace behind it. Like, and every now and then you see that sort of that mask slip, and I thought that was really fucking cool as well. But like you say, the sort of the over the top moments, he hits them well. Like it just becomes. I think the whole film feels like a nightmare. Like just simply can't get out of, and that's because Howard's so nice and so interesting, but also like putting him in this situation. I thought it was phenomenal. Yeah, I thought it was brilliant.
Moving on to the kind of the three that go after Wallace try to find him. So you've got Genesis Rodriguez as Ali, Haley Joel Osment as Teddy, and then obviously Johnny Depp as Guy Lapointe. What were our thoughts on those guys, the collie?
I thought they were fine. It was fun to see Haley Joel Osment in something again, of course. But yeah, Johnny Depp as Guy is hilarious. Like, it's bad, but it's funny. Like, I think he's really, really rubbish, but in the best possible way. I don't think that's Johnny Depp trying to do it well and it being rubbish. I think he's intentionally being silly and over the top and just delivering this performance. I really don't think that Johnny Depp's like thinking that he's putting in a good performance, but it's funny, if that makes any sense. I think he's doing it like completely tongue in cheek, like hamming it up deliberately. Like, so no, I thought he was good. Like, he was obviously the main guy carrying that side of the film when he appeared. To pun intended, main Guy of the film, but no, very silly, like the whole of the film. But I did enjoy him.
I hated him. I hated Johnny Depp as Guy Lapointe. Absolutely despised it. The silly makeup, the prosthetics, he did this thing with his eyes that just reminded me of the kid from Man Without a Face, where his eyes would kind of just like wander off into like different directions and stuff. We'll talk about him again, obviously, in the next film as well. But it's just, for me, it felt like the film ground to a halt when he turned up, yeah, I hated it, hated his approach. I really enjoyed Ali and Teddy's relationship though, and like how they were kind of more of a typical relationship, or like how she should be kind of, or was wanting to be like loved by someone, I suppose, that she wasn't getting from Wallace. But and it was interesting seeing like the flashbacks and stuff as well from when she tried to get into Wallace's sort of personality and stuff. So I really quite enjoyed those parts. But yeah, Guy Lapointe just did not do it for me in any sense whatsoever. Todd?
So I'll start with Johnny Depp. Like, it's one of them jokes that when you see it, you're like, fuck off. Like, and then it stops being funny. And then because it's so ridiculous, it starts being funny again. And I'm there, like, the bit about when they do the thing with the notepad, and he's like, he learned it from the Big Lebowski. Like, that bit got me. That bit got me. That was funny. And that's what I mean. Like, and again, the prosthetics. When he first come on, I was like, "What the fuck are we doing here?" And then you get lost with it, and then I find it funny because it's so stupid. It goes in and out. Like you said, it's nice to see Haley Joel Osment doing more work and doing good work as well. I think the problem is with Teddy and Ali, because I thought Ali was brilliant, and that monologue where she talks about I hate him, but I hate myself more, and she's like talking about how her dad would feel and seeing her, like, that was brilliant. But they don't have a lot to do. This is literally just a case of like they are moving the plot forward in the hope that like he'll be found. Do you know what I mean? I didn't think there was all that much. But I thought them two were excellent. Johnny Depp, the jury is still very much out. I might land on, is it funny or is it not, on a rewatch? But yeah, I dip in and out.
Fair enough. Anyone else want to talk about? I would say the boy Harley Morenstein is the border agent. He was class. He was what was it he did on YouTube,
Epic Mealtime?
Epic Mealtime. That's it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's where he's from. Yeah.
Yeah, he was class. I really enjoyed his kind of like humor, but also like he's been serious as well at times. Yeah, I thought that he was great. Anyone else that stood out for yourself, Chloe?
Well, yeah, I like the bit when they're talking about the flag and stuff like that. Like, there's no blue on there because we're never blue and stuff like that. I thought that was quite good.
It's brilliant.
But just a quick one on Genesis Rodriguez, who plays Ali. The other film she released this year, or 2014, was Big Hero 6. She was one of the main voices in Big Hero 6.
Oh.
I was just looking through her IMDb being like, what have I seen her in? And it's not much. Tusk and Yoga Hosers and Big Hero 6 and 430 movie. So, yeah. Big Kevin Smith fan, obviously. But no, nobody really else sprung to mind. Obviously, Lily Rose Depp and Harley Quinn Smith, we'll talk more about them in the next film. But it was good, obviously, that ties it in. And when you're talking about Harley Morenstein, he's supposed to be in the third film of the trilogy called Moose Jaws.
Yeah.
So we'll have to come back. We'll do a one-off special.
Yeah.
For that.
Yeah. Sure. All right. Well, anything else you want to talk about? I mean, we can go into. I do have
one bit before we do our categories. According to Kevin Smith, most of the budget was used to obtain the rights to use the song Tusk by Fleetwood Mac. Like, that was most of the money.
Brilliant. And what I would say is, like, that is a great use of the money. Because as I said to you, I think I said to yourself at the start, that song's been in my head ever since watching this. And it's such a mental scene. Obviously we'll talk about it, but probably. But yeah, just having that song there, it just adds it. Yeah. Okay. Anything else you want to talk about with the film? We're happy enough with Todd?
No, I'm good. Yeah,
I'm good.
Perfect. Okay. Right. So, favorite quote. Well, for me, it was Wallace. I'm a podcaster, and then Howard. What the hell is that? Yeah. Absolutely spot on, mate. I know exactly what you're talking about. Yep. Collie.
It's a Howard one for me. Mr. Tusk, why do you blubber so? Are you really mourning your loss of humanity? I don't understand. Who in the hell would want to be human? God Almighty, in all of my travels, I've only ever known a human to be an ocean of shit. But that's what I was saying, like about Michael Parks, like he's delivering that like completely straight face, like that is what his character believes.
100%. Todd?
Mine is the stupid Howard. So, and he drops the voice, like, so he's talking and he says, I think the real savage animals are the human beings, but it's the way that he stops the stupid voice and then goes back to it again. I think worked really well.
Nice. Scene. Favorite scene. Collie.
Yeah, the walrus fight. just like so brutal and silly, and yeah, just Justin Long like not screaming but like bellowing as a walrus and stuff. Just the suit looked really good. Yeah.
I was going to go for that as well, but it's kind of a given. I really like the ending. Splicing in with when they're flashback and talking about how crying for babies and blah blah. Then obviously the tear kind of rolls down his cheek. I really like that end scene. Todd?
Yeah, mine was the walrus fight. It's just so because again, it's
no. Matthew says that's a given though, Todd. So that's not allowed to count. Apparently,
I didn't say that.
I like the scene where he turned the man into the walrus. That's the scene there. It's one. When I said at the beginning, it's like it's a film that you laugh at, and you feel like you shouldn't be laughing at it. That scene, I was pissing myself, and at the same time going like, hang on, this isn't fucking funny at all. It's really, really dark. And that suit, because you get a lot of close-ups of the walrus suit and like the bits of like ear on the side of it, like it's proper body horror, which I thought was really cool as well.
Definitely. Then finally, MVP, Collie.
I had Michael Parks.
Nice. I had Justin Long. I loved as well. I meant to say his moustache looked like walrus tusks before he'd obviously even became a walrus. I like that. Yeah, Justin Long. Todd.
Michael Parks for me.
That's a given. So choose someone else, please.
Okay.
Okay. Well, let's get into ratings then. So, Collie, what'd you give it?
Yeah, 4-star for me.
Yeah, 4-star for me as well. If there was no Guy Lepomp, then it probably was a 4.5, 5-star. But yeah, 4-star for me. Todd?
Yeah, 4 stars for me.
Good stuff. Okay, let's go on to the next film and the final film in this part. Collie, what film we're talking about?
2016's Yoga Hosers. Two teenage yoga enthusiasts team up with a legendary manhunter to battle with an ancient evil presence that is threatening their major party plans.
Yeah. First thoughts, Collie?
I think this film's hilarious. Like, even as stupid as Tusk was, this film like triples down on it. Like, no, it doesn't even double down; it triples down on it. So silly. I think some of the performances are actually quite fun. Again, just like the people that are appearing in the cast is kind of crazy. And yeah, yeah, the whole like final, I don't know, half of the film after it's revealed what the actual story is just it's wunderbar, as they say.
Don't. Don't. I hated it. I absolutely hated it. Like, yeah, it was too much. It was like sensory overload. Yeah, I really struggle with this film. Some of the choices were fair play to him for taking these massive swings. But it was not for me. I did not like the fact that he kind of tripled down into the silly stuff. Himself playing the Bratwursts runabout.
The Bratsies, thank you very much.
Sorry, the Bratsies. Yeah, I did not like it at all. The one of the big things that really pissed me off as well from the start was the like social media things that it just kept like cutting to them, and like there was like little quotes about it. Yeah, I didn't like this film in the slightest. Todd?
I wish this film took the shift that it shifts. There's like a shift in tone about an hour in, where like it becomes like that sort of like I wrote like Critters and Ghoulies from the 80s, like that B movie like mini monster horror. I wish that had kicked in earlier, and I'd have had a better time with it. I still liked it for what it was, as imperfect as it is. I had a laugh with it, and I love the fact that like again, I find it really hard because and I know we haven't really talked about this as a guy. I love Kevin Smith. Like, I love hearing him talk about films and like, do you know what I mean? And I just think he's making this because he wants to. It's fuck you. This is what I'm gonna make. Why not? Type thing. Yeah, I enjoyed it for what it was. I think now I'm looking at it through that lens of like that B movie sort of thing, I'll probably enjoy it a little bit more. I agree. I think the social media thing was awful. That really took me out of it a lot. But anyway, we'll get into performances. I did think a lot of the performances were decent, and I think especially anyway, yes, I liked it. It could have been better.
Fair enough. I mean, let's get into the two yoga ladies, Lily Rose Depp and Harley Quinn Smith. What I will say is that their relationship, they're obviously friends in real life, in the similar way that, you know, with Jane Silent Bob, there's like that natural chemistry there, which I appreciate. But it's just, it's. I'm trying to think of a good word for it, but it's just annoying. Like they're almost too friendly, and it just annoyed me. Like how, like some of the stuff that said was like almost like inside jokes and ways it spoke to each other. I didn't enjoy it at all. But like I say, their natural chemistry was there. You can definitely feel that like off screen they are pals. So I mean, fair enough for them, you know, doing it. Collie, what are your thoughts on those two?
I thought they were really funny. Like I thought their chemistry was really good. Like I mean, they're playing like what 15-year-olds or something like that. Like I think they play that pretty perfectly, to be honest, with their attitudes. And and on their phones in school, and they're wanting to get these boys round to party and stuff like that. I think they did exactly what they needed to do. And then when it came to like the yoga fight with the golem at the end, I thought the choreography was really good. I mean, like, if it wasn't for their teacher, they wouldn't have managed to do that. So yeah, I think they did a very, very good job.
That's a good point. Yeah, very good point. Todd?
Yeah, and it's weird going back and watching this after seeing Lily Rose Depp in Nosferatu and like given one of the performances of like, you know what I mean, one of my favorite performances in the last couple of years, and seeing her be this like teeny bopper type character with her pal and stuff. I think it is like a little bit of a teen film. Do you know what I mean? In terms of like that, I know it's like there's some things that definitely aren't teeny, but like they work really well together. And again, I think once you buy into the characters, which I did, because their chemistry is really good, I think they work really well together. I love their attitudes towards other people. Like you can see those relations, like with the teacher, when they get the phone back and stuff, and like the way that they talk with her compared to like how they talk to the customers and stuff. And again, nice little throwback to Clerks and stuff, which I thought was yeah. I think they both worked really well. And can put a performance in. I don't think it's just like, here's my daughter and here's my mate's daughter. Please just be nice about them. Like I do think they were decent. I thought they were really good. Yeah, and I'd watch another, if this Moose Jaws is them again. I'd be more than happy to see that. You know, I'd be fine with that.
Fair enough. Guy Lapointe is back. He comes back as helps them kind of find out what's happening with the Bratsies and all that sort of stuff. Again, hated him. Like it fit, but I would say it fits more in this movie than he does in Tusk for because it's that kind of silly things. But the whole shtick with the mole moving around his face as well, different scenes, like that, stupid. Just didn't do it for me. I think that happened in Robin Hood or something like that. Is that what the thing is?
Robin Hood, Men in Tights.
Men in Tights, yeah. Yeah, that didn't do it for me. What do you think of him, Collie? You know, coming back to a silly film like this.
I thought he was hilarious. Like, like so stupid, but like he definitely lends himself more to this film than he did Tusk. But I think he does exactly what he needs to. And like when he wakes up, like in between the two lassies, like all imprisoned and stuff, and he's trying to explain to them what voice Ralph Garman is doing all the time. And he's just obviously not connecting with him because it's like a generational difference kind of thing. But I thought he did exactly what he needed to with the stupid role that he was in. I thought he was good. Good fun.
Todd?
Yeah, like you say, he belongs in this film a hell of a lot more than he did in Tusk. Again, I liked. So I wrote down, is Johnny Depp getting spottier? But obviously, it's the mole moving around. And do you know what it reminded me of? It reminded me of, you know, in Scary Movie 3, where the hat just keeps getting bigger and bigger. Like, it reminded me of that sort of thing where it's like, it's not directly pointed to, nobody mentions it, but we can clearly see something's happening. So yeah, it was another one where I was kind of, like, in and out. Dipping in and out of like, okay, he's back. He's got the ridiculous prosthetics on. But yes, he definitely fit more into this than he did Tusk.
Yeah. Again, there's loads of characters or actors that pop up. Collie, what other ones for you were kind of interesting or important? Or
Austin Butler, Oscar nominee for Best Actor, Austin Butler. Yeah, I thought he was fine actually. I thought like he did. Obviously, we watched what was it, Caught Stealing this year together, Massey, when we were in Belfast and stuff. And I think like he's got that menacing like but charm about him and stuff, even in something as silly as this. So I thought it was really cool to see him crop up in this. I'll leave Justin Long to Todd because I think Todd might want to talk about him a little bit. Considering his review, was it your review or you tweeted it out? I can't remember.
One of the two.
He said something. He's something very complimentary about Justin Long, but yeah, I thought the kind of top to bottom Natasha Leon is Tabitha, the kind of stepmom, and Tony Hale is the dad and stuff. Like, it's so. They're like when they're going to the bedroom and Rose Depp's just like keep the door open and stuff. Just silly. And Harley Morenstein turning up as toilet paper man, as he's credited as in this. Yeah, just really good. I thought it was class. Jason Mewes as the road cop, like Adam Brody is. I'm just looking up and down the list now as the drummer and stuff as well. It's like the flashback scene to obviously when the guy's explaining how he came out of like sleep or whatever with the power being changed and stuff, and Ichabod in that scene's like, maybe I should get more tattoos. And obviously like, you see him in the first scene, he's just head to toe covered with them. So Kevin Smith does a really good job of tying all that together and referring back to other scenes and stuff. What a genius.
Absolutely. Proper genius. I agree. I think Austin Butler was the one that certainly, like, out of all of them, looked like he like properly tried for me. I thought not tried for me, but like for me, it looked like he had tried and stuff. So yeah, I definitely.
This one's for Massey.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, shout out to him. But yeah, no, I struggled, especially with Tony Hale. I like him, I really do. But being the absolute wet wipe of the dad that he was, and crying to the song and stuff as well, just yeah. Todd, do you want to talk about Justin Long?
Well, just on Tony, like, have you seen what's it? Arrested Development.
Yeah.
Like it was almost as if Buster Bluth's moved out and he's had a family. That's exactly what it was like. Justin Long for me, like, he's just playing into the like silly sort of like, do you know what I mean? Over the top, like just ridiculous character. I'm not going to say it's my quote for the end. That's what the review was. It's my quote for the end, and it just made me laugh so much. But yeah, he's just going full. He's going full ham. Were you not a fan, Massey?
Oh, Justin Long. Yeah, no, fine. He was fine as well.
Okay,
Yeah, sorry. I was just thinking about the film.
He was reading his notes, Todd. He wasn't listening to you. He was reading his notes.
Yeah, I actually am.
Austin Butler, it's the little squeal when the Bratsy goes up his ass that absolutely, it killed me. It was so funny. It was so well done. Yeah,
so well done. So well done.
It was. Fuck giving him the Oscars for everything else. Give him it for that. Yeah, it was. It proper caught me off guard. But yeah, I thought like all around, again, everyone's just having a good time, and you can see it on screen.
Except Massey.
Except me. Yeah.
So, yeah.
Anything else you want to talk about with you?
We can move on, Massey. We don't want to drag it out. Just
thank you. Thanks.
Just for you.
Thanks. Okay, so yeah, well, let's go on to favorite quotes. Collie.
I mean, there was only ever going to be one quote for me, and it's "Wunderbar" by the Bratsies. Wunderbar.
I put that as well.
It's when they're in the golems and they're just like "Nein, Fräulein" and stuff like that. This is so stupid.
I put Wunderbar as well because of you, because like, you keep saying it.
And just for context, like in our WhatsApp group, Massey hadn't seen Yoga Hosers yet, and I just kept like replying to stuff going "Wunderbar, Wunderbar," and he had no like knowledge as to why I was saying that until he watched this.
Oh god!
But I must. But before we're moving on to Todd's quote, I must commend Kevin Smith on his build up to the reveal of the Bratsies, though, because like you like see their little helmets appearing and all that stuff. I thought it was really good. It kind of was up there with Jaws. You know, like they don't show the shark until later in the film, so I think it was very good.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Like that's like I'm not taking the piss. Like that's obviously like why he did it like that because Jaws is one of his favorite films.
Just imagine what he's going to do with Moose Jaws.
Arguably, he did it better.
Yeah. Some might say that.
No, Moose Jaws is supposed to be about like a killer moose or something like that, I think.
It's Jaws with a moose, isn't it? Is that not what you said?
Yeah. Sorry, I thought, is that what you said? Sorry.
Yeah.
Todd, what's your quote?
My quote is Justin Long as Yogi Bear. Screaming, "You're smudging my glass with your perverted energy." It's so stupid. It's so fucking stupid. Perfect delivery. One of the greatest actors of all time, Justin Long.
Favorite scene, Collie?
The fight with the Gollum goalie. But even just like the precursor to that was Ralph Garman doing all the celebrity voices. It's like Sylvester. They were all really good, actually, to
Yeah.
be fair. Like Stallone and Arnie and stuff like that. But just like the two lassies just not understanding. And what did they do again? They were like, that's not. I did Michael Adam West.
Yeah.
They're like, that's not Batman. We're like, what were they saying again? They were like, oh, where's the drugs or something like that. And they're like, they're just saying, and Johnny Depp's like, that's not Batman. And like, it's just...
That again, that was my favorite scene, was him doing the voices of the Sly Stallone, and
Yeah.
I think the Pacino as well, didn't he? It was like oorah and like, yeah.
Wow.
Ooh-ah. Collie? Oh no, you said to see, didn't you? Sorry. Todd?
Yeah, mine was the voices scene. Absolutely killed me in that back and forth about Batman.
Fair enough. And then finally, MVP for me, Austin Butler, of course, did it for me. So, Collie?
Lily Rose Depp for me. I thought she was really, really good. Like Todd said earlier when he was discussing her, like obviously seen her in Nosferatu, but she played that kind of teeny bopper kind of age that she was supposed to be in this really, really well. Like I think like she was one that you could definitely see is a good actress and would go on to better things, which she subsequently has done. Arguably, this is better than Nosferatu, but that's just me.
Oh, easy. Yeah, definitely. Todd?
Just long. Like it's so stupid. I couldn't help
Yogi
myself.
Bear.
Yogi Bear. And at one point when they're talking about being sued for using that name, and he's like, it's a cartoon bear.
Oh, me.
Okay,
let's wrap this one up with the ratings. For me, you'll not be surprised here, it's half a star. Collie?
3.5 stars.
Mental. Todd?
I went 2.5.
Still kind of
Harsh.
Yeah, very harsh. All right, well, that's part 3 done now of Kevin Smith. So again, guys, if you like this, remember to like, follow, subscribe, do all that fun stuff. Let us know, comment, tweet us well at LCD_pod of what you thought of Kevin Smith. And we'll be back for episode 4, the final episode in the Kevin Smith quadrilogy. Thanks so much for listening, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.
Cheers.